Hi guys, welcome if you're new here, welcome back if you're not. My name is Cora, and on this channel I'm documenting my financial journey as I work towards living my best life. If that sounds interesting to you, please keep watching. In today's video, we'll be going over my paycheck budget for the first paycheck in June, which covers the 1st through the 15th. I am a single budgeter, and I get paid semi-monthly, which means I get paid twice a month, approximately every 15 days. I am not a cash budgeter, as I don't typically carry cash. It's just something that, because if I have cash, I'll spend it. Not only will I spend it, I'm less likely to track it, and that's just not a good look, especially if you're trying to keep up with where your money is going. So for that reason, I just don't carry cash. However, if you can keep up with it, do whatever works for you. I am mindful of what I spend, and I do track my expenses. And if you're new here, I owe a lot of people, so my expenses are high. So as I go through this budget, you will see that even with the income that I have, it's a high income, but it is also high on the debt and everything. But however, I hope you feel free to follow along on this journey as I knock that number down, because we are going to get it down. For this spreadsheet, this is a spreadsheet that I created. Traditional ones didn't work for me in large part because I typically had more bills than what they allow on most sheets that I saw. But the good thing with that is also that I get to update these sheets as my situation changes. Budgeting is personal, and to be most successful, it needs to reflect the season of life that you're in. So, and whatever season that is, that's okay. Just work with what you have and do what you can. When I first started working, I was making about $1,300 bi-weekly with the kid. So I've been through some things. But either way, just keep pressing forward. Whatever you're doing, I hope you get some tips and tricks from this video. And it doesn't matter about the amount, just your process and getting comfortable with it so you know that where your money is going. For this check, make sure that we're here. For my paycheck, we're going to start with $34.50. And then also from sinking funds, we're going to have $3.50 because I have to pay for my Falcons tickets. I'm a Falcons season holder. I am from Atlanta. I'm originally born and raised in Atlanta. Very few of us here now. Most people are from somewhere else. We full, but it's fine. One day we're gonna get there. I'm a fan. We're gonna play a whole game, all 4 quarters one year. I don't know when that year is gonna be. Hopefully this year, but hope springs eternal. But that's fine. Either way it goes. My payment is due on the 1st. And so that is going to give us $3,800 for this paycheck. Sinking funds, if you don't know, are basically just like mini savings accounts where you put money to the side in previous months and then pull it back out when you need to pay the actual bill. So I've been doing this on previous checks. So I had this money coming account in a high yield savings account to earn a little bit of interest to build up so I wouldn't have to worry about paying this $350 this month out of pocket. It's $3,800. So going through, I budget half my rent with each check just to spread things out. So that's going to be $10.50. Cell phone is actually not due until the start of my next pay period, but the pay date just changed. It used to be due on the 3rd, so I still budgeted with the first check, and that is going to be $180. That actually includes my cell phone, another phone that I pay, and an iPad for someone else. This other phone I don't budget for because I'm supposed to be reimbursed for. It's an iPad, another phone. However, if I'm not reimbursed, I do have to cover that amount, but I do separate it for my own peace of mind because I don't plan to pay that every month. It doesn't matter why. What matters is you just have to be cognizant of your situation and plan accordingly and do what you need to do. TV is $20 a month. Other TV, same thing. For convenience, I pay at the same time I pay my TV bill, and I'm supposed to be reimbursed for that. Electric is $115. I am on budget billing, which means I pay an average amount for my previous 12 months for a year, and then the amount changes. My apartment is fully electric, so no gas bill, only electric, and that was one of the things that I looked for when I moved into this apartment, just because it's easier. I don't really cook, so I didn't need a gas stove. Electric works just fine for me. There's no car insurance or renter's insurance. I do have most of the dates here on the side of these sheets, and that helps me keep track of what needs to be paid when. So all of these things are not due. Life insurance, even though it's the end of the month and quarterly, I still do go ahead and budget them in this check. $7.61. Wyndham, don't get a timeshare. That's all we're gonna say about that for now. I talked about this in a previous video, but we'll just leave it. It is what it is. This is for the timeshare itself is paid off. This is for the maintenance fees paid every month. There is a fee to actually get rid of this timeshare, but until we do something about that, we just go ahead and go with it. My kid is trying to use a little bit. I haven't used it in I don't know how long. Either way it goes, doesn't matter. It still is a thing to be paid until you do something with it. Subscriptions. On this page, I have a line for subscriptions, and then on the back side of my sheet, and when I come back to do my review and paycheck update, we'll put what the actual is for the different amounts and spending, also in annual expenses for, and then here for subscriptions and how I block out the things that are just for me. Currently, iCloud is the only subscription that I have, but I'm currently toying with getting Apple TV or my own Netflix subscription. So I'm going to budget $10 for them just to see if it's something I actually want to do. It's purely for convenience, so I don't need to, it's not a need or anything like that. But also, if you are on the fence about trying to see if you can afford something, put it in your budget for a couple of months and see how it feels to you. So that's something that you can do. And then if you decide to do it, great, you're already used to it. If you decide not to do it, then you have a little bit of money that you can allocate somewhere else. That's going to be $20 there. Nothing for therapy, $100 for business now. This is for spending for annual expenses. So that nothing budgeted there. I'm sorry, that's not right. I just said I had to pay my Falcons bill. So this is for the Falcons. So that's $350. And then my spending amount, I think what I'm doing is $434. This check. So when I'm budgeting and planning for my paycheck, I don't put the things into various amounts. But like I said, I do keep track of it in the back of my mind as I'm going through the check and seeing what I have. I do have it in a separate account so I can see as the numbers going down how much money I have. But because outside is so expensive, I'm not spending that much money anyway. I used to go outside a lot more. I'm sure that's the case for a lot of us. It used to be outside, but every time you go outside, it used to be $100. Now it's at least $100, if not more. Going to the grocery, everything just costs more. That's just a fact of life. It is what it is. So I spend a lot of time indoors enjoying getting this full amount of my rent check, enjoying my space, staying to myself, this TV bit, the internet, all of those things. I take advantage of those to enjoy myself at my house. So anyway, before I get too off track, $434 for this paycheck. That's the intent. We'll see how it goes. I also have some larger expenses coming up, so I'm definitely trying to keep my spending down so I can roll over the excess for these amounts, and then that way I don't have to try to come up with the extra money. So we'll see how it goes. Let's add this up. Thank you. TI 89 calculator from high school. I like it because you can see everything on the line and scroll back through instead of having to retype everything. Makes it easy to see any errors or things that you mistyped in wrong. So that's that. And that total is $24.25. Again, I'll just scroll through, make sure everything is right. And sometimes I will forget a number, double check my numbers. Okay, yep, that is all good. So subtracting, that gives me $13.75 as the remainder to budget with for this check. I'm not budgeting any savings for this check. I'll do that with the next check. This one we're gonna make sure the bills and stuff get paid. So we're moving $13.75 over to the debt column. Again, I have all the types of debt. That's not true. I don't have a mortgage. I had one previously. It's not for me. You do you. I'm perfectly fine, because the biggest thing for me is, yes, landing things would be nice. However, when something breaks and things get expensive and life happens, life already happens anyway. But the thing that is the best for me is that when something breaks, something serious goes wrong, I call somebody and somebody else has to deal with it. Trying to find a good contractor, trying to find a good price, trying to make the time to be there and deal with people. No, sir, no, ma'am, no, thank you. I don't want any parts of it. I want the extent of my involvement to be, hey, this needs to be fixed. If you don't mind all the other stuff, absolutely works for you. But I've been there, done that. I don't want it. I don't need it. That's fine. That is not my cup of tea. However, you do you. Anyway, as I was saying, do owe everybody and their mama. As you'll see here, I did decide to name my credit cards to keep it a little interesting. The loans are still just numbered. And store cards here are still, I just decided to group them together because I'm not really using them. When you're going to be paying people for a while, when you owe a lot of money, you have to do something to lift your spirits. I saw someone else here on YouTube do that. I apologize. I don't remember who it was. And I was like, hey, that's pretty cool. However, they did Disney villains. I can't say I'm a Disney kid, but I do like Disney movies. I grew up in the age of Disney. So that's something for me. And I do have a couple on here from Disney. However, I ran out of Disney villains before I finished naming my credit card, so I had to expand my list. So that's the thing. I should also note that I do use my credit cards for spending primarily, but then I pay them back. Oftentimes I pay them off each week, and a little bit of cash rewards or cash back I get is useful if I make a random Amazon purchase, or just want to treat myself for a little bit and I have the amount built up and I can do it. Every little bit helps. However, the caveat to that is it takes serious discipline. If you aren't disciplined, I do not recommend. Don't try to play the game, because it is not worth it for 2, 3, maybe even 6% if your credit card is running some type of promotion or something to get back. It's just not worth it. I'm not saying that I'm fully disciplined, but I'm getting there. So let's look at who I will need to pay for this check. And the first one, well, I won't say first one. I'll do the personal loans first because those are easier. And so this is 34. And then on the 5th this is 155. And then personal loan 5 on the 9th is 247.82. And then the 6th is 247.78. Now, one reason you'll see I've been using whole numbers in my amounts. These two I don't, because they are auto drafted from my account. And it's just a way for me to remember that these are auto drafted from my account. You don't have to do that. It's fine. Round up if you can. It's a way for me so I don't remember. And personal loan 6, I actually did make a manual payment. And I guess I checked the wrong button. So I actually gave them an extra $250 last month. Or $248 if you want to be more specific. That was not the plan. I mean, overall, yes, it helps, but that just was not the plan. So I'm definitely trying to do all the things I can to be mindful of that. Coming back up, I do pay my car note, half of my car note with each check. Again, just like with the rent, I am trying to split it up a little bit. So for Too Faced, I'm going to budget $150. And then the next thing that's actually due that has a balance, because these here do not have balances, is Hans Gruber. We're going to give them $100. And then Pennywise, which is the newest card. I did a balance transfer to that card because it has 0 interest. And then Freddy Krueger, which is due on the 4th, which is actually for the kid, but it doesn't matter. Again, it's in my name, so I'm responsible for that, and that is going to be $39.40. All right, I believe that is it. Let me just make sure. Yeah, not too much this check. So adding that up, is $13.75. $13.75 actually means I have nothing left here. Student loans we'll talk about next check. And sinking funds I'll do next check, so none that I'm paying for this check. So that's it. There you have it. $3,800 income, and I am budgeting to spend it all. This is my paycheck budget. In the next video, we'll see how I did compared to what I plan to do with this plan. And if you made it this far, please like, comment, subscribe if you like, and I'll see you in the next video. Bye.